In what sense is happiness or bliss, that is Ananda, our real nature? Perfect bliss is Brahman. Perfect peace is of the self. That alone exists and is consciousness. That which is called happiness is only the nature of self. Please highlight this. That which is called happiness is only the nature of self. Self is not other than perfect happiness. That which is called happiness alone exists. Knowing that fact and abiding in the state of self, enjoy bliss eternally. If a man thinks that his happiness is due to external causes and his possessions, it is reasonable to conclude that his happiness must increase with the increase of possessions and diminish in proportion to their diminution. Therefore, if he is devoid of possessions, his happiness should be nil. What is the real experience of man? Does it conform to this view? Wait there and ask yourself this question. Have you been in a state where you had no money? In college time, teenagers, no pocket money, all your pocket money you just wasted on your friends, and then your mom and dad said no pocket money for the rest of the month. You go without money the rest of the month. You've been in that state? Yeah? Were you happy or were you unhappy for the rest of the month? There were only moments when you thought about the money and pulled yourself down, otherwise you were happy. Yeah, but you should have been continuously unhappy for that time. Your happiness should have been nil. Nil means zero. Is that true? Look at poor people. Are they unhappy? They are actually happier than the rich people. The rich people have to keep worrying about their money and their stocks and their shares and their jewelry and their treasures all the time. So, it does not conform with our own experience. So, Maharshi's way is of direct experience. His path is of direct experience, not a path of logic, not of using the mind. In my direct experience, I notice, no, happiness has got nothing to do with these external objects. Sadness also has got nothing to do with these external objects. It's not just happiness. I am attributing feelings. Yes. Where is it starting? It's starting because when a feeling arises, immediately I hold on to it and I say, my feeling. I am feeling like this. All bad things happen to me only. And blah, 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 my story begins. Yeah. Start there. Start your inquiry there. See, the feeling arose. Can I just be a witness? It played and it went away. Am I this feeling? Did I generate it? Am I responsible? Am I the background really experiencing this feeling? That should be your next exploration. Am I really experiencing the sadness? Start recognizing that there is a distance, there's a very little distance between I, the background, and that which arises on the background. Very short distance, very small distance, little gap is there. Hold on to that gap and you'll be able to distance yourself from the feeling. Then you'll understand what Ramana said. Ramana was suffering from a terminal illness, you know that, right? And in his last few days, when he was close to passing away, the attendant was also a devotee, a disciple who came to him and asked is there not pain in the body? Because his entire body was infected. He had cancer. So isn't there pain? And he says, there is pain, but I am not hurting. What had he found? He had found something. Something where the distance between I, the background, the turiya, and that feeling of pain that arises, the sensation of pain that arises and falls. There was a distancing. He says there is pain, means there is this sensation which is arising and falling, but I am not hurting. Yes? If you have a goal in life, this should be your goal. This should be the only goal in life. Then where is suffering? Yeah? There is misery. There is no misery. Yeah, because I cannot stop the flow. If the flow has to bring something, even if disease has to come to this body, it will come. I cannot stop that. The only thing I can do is develop that distance, like Ramana Maharshi. Yeah? Even if there is pain that arises, I recognize there is pain, but I am not hurting. So like that's as your goal for life. This is where I need to get. Then what sukha, what dukkha, all same. So we finished till what is the real experience of man? Does it conform to this view? In deep sleep, man is devoid of possessions, including his own body. Instead of being unhappy, he's quite happy. And this is very important. Most of us think that I am still in the body and I am asleep. Isn't that an assumption? Do I know for sure I am in the body is there, and I am some small little light trapped inside the body? Yeah? This is an assumption I have. Yeah? Question this. Question your assumption. Break your assumptions. Break your conditioning. Just see in direct experience. Direct experience, I am in a state in deep sleep where there is no body. I am devoid of the body. Yeah? Those who have not done this exploration must do this exploration. Obviously, you will not know it in deep sleep, but it's an early morning exploration. When you wake up, you ask yourself, when I was in deep sleep, did I have the direct experience of the physical body? No, there was no experience. So I'll read that sentence again. In deep sleep, man is devoid of possessions, including his own body. Instead of being unhappy, he is quite happy. Everyone desires to sleep soundly. The conclusion is that happiness is inherent in man and is not due to external causes. One must realize the self in order to open the store of unalloyed happiness. Unalloyed means pure. Pure, that is not mixed. Pure, unalloyed happiness. When you wake up in the morning and your partner asks you, how did you sleep last night? You say, I slept so well. So happy. Yeah? You don't say I am happy, but you say it with a smile. That happiness is reflected in your body language. You say, I slept so well. Yes, you're happy about it. You get happiness when there is no body. That is what he's trying to tell you. Who was happy? The body was not there. The mind was not there. That state of deep sleep, devoid of body and mind, I was in my nature, in the source, in Ananda. So you wake up and you say, I slept so well. Do you get this? Yeah. So, if possessions were so important, you feel, oh, my body is my biggest possession, no? A possession should give me happiness. Does it really give you happiness? It gives you more dukkha only in life. Sri Bhagwan speaks of the heart as the seat of consciousness and as identical with the self. What does the heart exactly signify? Call it by any name: God, self, the heart, or the seat of consciousness. It is all the same. The point to be grasped is this: that heart means the very core of one's being, the center, without which there is nothing whatever. It just means everything arises from it, it plays in it, and everything goes back into it. That is why it is called the heart. All your thoughts, feelings, perceptions, sensations, waking state, dreaming state, deep sleep state, all arise here and they go away. That is why this background is called the self, is called God, is called the heart. The heart is not physical, it is spiritual. A lot of people don't understand this. This is again poetic. And then they, in meditation, are looking for a heart and trying to find another heart other than the physical heart in the chest. And this has led to a lot of confusion on the path of Dvaitam. Yeah, there are meditations that people do to find the spiritual heart. Wrong idea. There is no real spiritual heart, heart-shaped heart that you're going to find. Become very clear. He's calling the same background of nothingness as the heart. He's calling the same Turiya Avastha as the heart. He's calling the self as the heart. Yeah? There is no difference. So it is not physical, it is spiritual. Hridaya means Hrit plus Ayam. It means this is the center. Hrit, Ayam. This is the center. It is that from which thoughts arise, on which they subsist, and where they are resolved. The thoughts are the content of the mind, and they shape the universe. The heart is the center of all. That from which beings come into existence is said to be Brahman in the Upanishads. That is the heart. Brahman is the heart. Yeah? Different people used to come to him, no? So this is an Advaitin. He has studied the Upanishads. In the Upanishads, it is addressed as Brahman. So Maharishi uses the word heart. So he clarifies it for this Advaitin. What you call Brahman, I am calling heart. Heart is the same thing as this background of nothingness, this knowing presence in which everything arises, plays for a while and goes away. Not different. How to realize the heart? There is no one who, even for a moment, fails to experience the self. For no one admits that he ever stands apart from the self. He is the self. The self is the heart. Can you ever say, I do not exist? I am not I? Can you say, I was not present? I has been there since childhood to teenage to adulthood. It has always been there. The sense of I am has been continuous. Nobody can ever say that they were ever apart from the self. Clear what that sentence means? I'll read it again. No one admits that he ever stands apart from the self. He is the self. The self is the heart. The heart is the center from which everything springs. Because you see the world, the body, and so on, it is said that there is a center for these, which is called the heart. When you are in the heart is known to be neither the center nor the circumference. There is nothing else apart from it. When you are in the heart means when you come to this background of nothingness, where there is no other thought or feeling or sensation arising. This background of nothingness, the seer and the seen have collapsed and you're just here in this background of nothingness, nothing arising. Absolutely still. Then, when you are in the heart is known to be neither the center nor the circumference. Let's close our eyes, go to the background. Can you go there instantly now? See, is there a border? Can you find a circumference? Can you find a center? Can you define any borders for it? No, there's no border. There is no circumference. There is no center. It is one infinity, one field of infinity. Yes? It's the field of nothingness. It is who I am. It is who I am. It is right there. It has no center. It has no circumference. It's only poetic to call it the heart. Hrit Ayam, the center. Yeah? It's only again poetic. There is nothing else apart from it. The consciousness, which is the real existence and which does not go out to know those things which are other than the self, alone is the heart. Please highlight this. He's talking about pure consciousness, where the seer and the seen have collapsed, where the witness and the witnessed have collapsed. Yeah? Where the consciousness and the object that it is conscious of both have collapsed, where it is pure consciousness. It does not go out to know things, yeah, which are other than the self. Alone is the heart. Very clear? That field of no-thingness that doesn't go out to know. When it goes out to know, it is a witness consciousness. When that witness consciousness collapses, it is nothing but that field of nothingness. That is called the heart. So he does not call the witness consciousness the heart, he calls the pure consciousness as the heart, or the primordial awareness as the heart. Since the truth of self is known only to that consciousness, which is devoid of activity, that consciousness, which always remains attending to self alone, is the shining of clear knowledge. Means it is jnana. Witness consciousness is not jnana. The seer is not jnana. Yes? When the seer or the witness consciousness collapses and there is just the pure consciousness, It is knowing itself only. It is resting in itself. That is called the clear shining of knowledge, or the shining of Gyan Matra. That completes the chapter on the nature of the self.